Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 219th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica and Manscaped, but more on those guys and girls later. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan 8bit. And joining me in the co-hosting chair, as usual, my podcast, Ride or Die, the frog to my gecko. You can find her on them socials at Miss Allie Hart. How you doing today? What up?
The most obscure reference for all the listeners there. We need to peel back the curtain on that one, because that has probably been one of my favorite conversations pre-recording of this podcast.
Well, why don't we jump straight into it, and we'll sort of let listeners know what in the Christ we're actually talking about there as far as frogs and geckos. So for those that don't know, the second episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian aired about 8 days or so ago now, and there is a character in the episode. We won't go into spoilers, but she's known around the internets, and I think even in the credits as the Frog Lady. But I dispute that she's a frog. I think she's a gecko. Just looking at the head of this frog lady, very gecko-esque, not very frog-like. And that's where my bugbear is. What about you? Where do you sit on this fence?
We were talking about The Mandalorian because I was talking about my actual hate for the child, and I know that that's going to bother a lot of people because he can do no wrong. He is the it character of The Mandalorian. Everyone loves him.
I can hear the pitchforks and sort of flaming torches getting lit right now, so watch yourself. They're coming.
They generally just park outside of my house regardless of what I'm saying most times anyway. But that episode in particular just really goes to show how much of a little shit this kid is. And someone pointed out, I think it was meant to be comedy. I think it was meant to be a chuckle moment, but that kid was committing murder. So, don't like it, hate the kid. But then you said, with such strong confidence of, and can we talk about how they incorrectly call her a frog? And then I was like, but she is. And then this all started where it was this discussion about whether she was a frog or a gecko. And
I've yielded slightly because in episode 3 of season 2 there's a bit more of a reference to that character. That's all I'm saying, that could lead me to go, okay, maybe you're right, when we started to go down the herpetology animal tree and things like that, and looking at the life cycles of a frog. So I'm like, okay, maybe, but I feel like the way she moved in that second episode, yes, very frog-like, more jumping as opposed to,
literally
as you displayed, crawling really fastly on the walls. But the head, to me, it's pure gecko. So maybe this is we are in space. We are in weird planets. We don't know much about these ecosystems and the creatures that inhabit them. So maybe this is a frog-gecko hybrid. So I'm like, I'm going to settle with that.
I had to meet you in the middle because when you did actually reference what her head looked like, I had to go back and look, and I'm like, you know what, you are right. It's actually very gecko-like, but I'm thinking it's just a design flaw. So yeah.
John Favreau, what are you doing here? You're ruffling all these feathers. All these herpetologists out there are just up in arms trying to work out what species of creature this is. But Mandalorian though is phenomenal. It keeps getting better and better, and yesterday's third episode of season 2 is brilliant. That's all I'm going to say. You haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there have watched it, and a lot of people are almost unanimously saying that this is some of the best stuff in the Star Wars cinematic universe, film or TV. So more of this, please. yeah, can't wait for the next episode with just some of the things that were referenced. So, excuse me, just going from strength to strength. But I guess something else that was pretty strong this week was obviously next gen is now officially upon us. Both consoles are available with an asterisk, like pre-orders. If you got them in on time, there's a chance you've got either the Xbox Series X or S, as well as the PlayStation 5. I managed to secure both. I guess we could maybe talk about our console journeys in that regard. My Xbox situation, as everyone knew, JB Hi-Fi left me in the lurch. I got a text message, I think last weekend, just after we finished recording, telling me to pay for the rest of my pre-order that was due to get delivered on the 7th of December, JB Hi-Fi. So I'm not doing that. I'm not going to pay for that because apparently I get my deposit back if I just let this lapse after a week. So that's cool. I get my $50 back. But instead, I did something that I'm not especially proud of, but the FOMO and the desperation was running through my veins. And I secured an Xbox Series X Day 1 edition through the grey market, you could say, known as eBay. I bought someone else's pre-order off them, some young gentleman from northern Brisbane, and I paid above market price. So $750 is the market price. I paid above that, but I didn't pay anywhere near as high as some of the other listings doing the rounds. Like here in Australia, I was seeing a lot of them go for like $1,200, $1,300, things like that. So near double. Full disclosure, I paid $950, so it's still $200 more, but it's also where I said openly, I think on this podcast a few times, where I'm like, I'll gladly pay this amount. So I paid where I was comfortable paying. So I paid more, but I still got what I wanted. So I think overall that's a win for me. Definitely a win for this young fellow from North Brisbane. But it was stressful because I don't have a car right now due to that storm I mentioned. So I had to get an Uber to this gentleman's location, managed to convince him to sort of meet in the, well, maybe not so the middle, it was more closer to me than him, but he didn't really know that. Met there on the morning of Tuesday at 8 in the morning in a McDonald's car park.
Nice.
So my Uber driver thought I must have been doing drug deals because I'm like, I'm just going to go there, pick up some stuff, just wait, then we're going home. So yeah, got my Uber to and from, got my Xbox, got home, got it set up, happy days. Couldn't be more happy about that. PlayStation 5, on the other hand, Amazon day one paid for priority shipping to have it on the Thursday the 12th. Thursday the 12th rolled around and it had not even shipped as per the status updates. Had a bit of a complaint to you guys on the chat as well as to Amazon through their customer service because it was allegedly going to be arriving on my doorstep this coming Tuesday. But then Thursday night rolled around and I got a shipping notification that it arrived at the dispatch facility, which is 10-15 minutes away from my house, mind you, so I could drive there and pick it up. Then the next thing, it arrived on my doorstep yesterday. So I've got the PS5, got the Xbox Series X, got them both set up, loving life. But that's my experience with the acquiring of the equipment. Where do you stand on that? Maybe then we can start talking about some games and what we've got planned as far as a bit of a deeper dive on these consoles.
Sure. So our experience was with the Xbox. We got the Amazon email where they were saying, hey, just, letting you know your delivery may come by December, or it could just come earlier. But the thing is that Amazon already kind of had a projected date on when we were getting it. We weren't going to get it on Tuesday, but it said Thursday. So we're like, okay, that's fine. And then with the PlayStation, we pre-ordered one at Best Buy, but we also decided to shoot our luck on Amazon as well. We secured both. So we're currently on Thursday. We got 2 deliveries. So we got a Xbox Series X disc version. And then we got the Amazon one, which was a digital PlayStation and my husband had to go to Best Buy to pick up our disc version PlayStation 5.
Okay, nice.
So we're currently in possession of 2 PS5s and 1 Xbox.
That's nice. That's good.
The PS5 is going to a cousin. So
nice.
So we got everything on Thursday. Luckily enough, my husband enjoys the setup process. So I just like sat back and watched him like set it all up. And I only really got to play like with the Xbox briefly, just played a little bit more of Yakuza Like a Dragon. So just get a little bit of a hands-on experience. So probably play it more this weekend. But at this stage, still really haven't touched the new consoles.
Well, just an FYI, I know there's probably some people out there that might pay above market price for one of those PlayStation 5s.
Oh, we know. We know.
I've heard there's some suckers out there that will do such things. So
yeah, no, we might as well go to someone that we know that would appreciate it. So
yeah, no,
plus,
that's nice.
We got a new TV for it as well. So
yeah, you did. You got that 4K, HDR, and all the high refresh rates. So it's awesome to see so much positivity and happiness on the socials from like people within our circles getting these consoles, setting them up, talking about those initial experiences and things. And it seems overall it's been a fairly painless launch week, I guess, for the people that were guaranteed. It seems like most of the local shop fronts had their situations under control as far as the pickup process on the mornings of and what have you. So it's nice to see. What we're looking at doing here, which we sort of half mentioned on the fly last week with the consoles, is we're going to bring out sort of 2 like THG Pocket episodes next week. One focusing on the Xbox Series X/S and the other one on the PlayStation 5. Just deep diving, I guess, more about the hardware and our experiences in that regard. So I thought maybe we'd just talk about maybe some of the games we've been playing this week and leave a lot of the next-gen deep dive until we sort of do that whole and sole focus next week. So I'll have a couple little mini episodes dropping between now and the next THG, which is 220, highlighting those 2 platforms. But I won't spend too much time on this first one. I am so embedded and immersed and obsessed with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is not funny. I think when we recorded last weekend, I said I was maybe like 25 to 30 hours in. I'm now over 70 hours into this game. I have been playing it nonstop, and then jumping from the Xbox One X to the Xbox Series X. The load times are non-existent like they used to be. When you're fast traveling around the map, you could be anywhere from 30 seconds to 90 seconds waiting for load. This shit's like 10 seconds maximum now. Like, so I've got no time to aimlessly scroll on my phone, no time to pat the dogs or whatever. It's just game time all the time. So that's the first thing I've noticed. Graphically, it's a good little bump. Like, it's not huge, like massive game changer. Like, the game looks completely different, but just the environments look better. The lighting looks better. There's more detail in the characters' faces and whatnot. But I'm so in love with this game the more I play it. Like, and I feel that I'm getting towards the end. Like, I think I stupidly said last week on the episode, I felt I was maybe like 2/3 through. No way in hell. Like, I feel this game is never going to end. I've probably got another 20 hours, I reckon, maybe, to see the back end of this story. But yeah, like, it's great. Like, I'm so immersed in this sort of Norse world, the characters, the combat now, the skill trees, some of the story arcs you go on. Like, it would be spoiling it if I mentioned it now, but we're doing, obviously, the spoiler cast, hopefully this coming week with Australia's John O'Peck, where I can go deep on some of the stuff that happens. But it is so good. So good. And I can't speak highly of this game enough. But I'll park that there.
I'm glad this game was everything that you wanted it to be, because I remember when they first announced it. I remember like all the development. Like, you had like all your chips in for this one. Like, you already like had a fascination with like Viking and all that time period. So I'm glad that this worked out and it's the game that you wanted. So
oh yeah, it's scratching so many itches, and it's the better thing too is it's like I'm not alone on this island saying how great it is. Like a lot of the reviews out there are best game in the Assassin's Creed franchise or best game in years, and it's 8.5 to 9 to 9.5 out of 10 and things like that. So it seems pretty universal that this game is hitting a lot of the right notes for everybody out there, and I hope more people are playing it. From what I can see, it seems to be one of the more popular entries into the franchise. Like they're saying that on launch, twice as many people have played Valhalla on launch this past week. We're talking like Monday, 10th of November, as opposed to Odyssey and even Origins the last few years. So there's certainly some hunger for Valhalla. So that's awesome. And then on the other side of the fence, I thought I need to experience both next gen or current gen, I guess we could start calling it now, platforms. Now that I've got them in the household, and I started playing Spider-Man Miles Morales yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm not 70 hours into this one, let me tell you. I'm about 3, so I think I'm maybe 3/10 of the way through the game based off average runtime. But it's so great. The characters phenomenal. Anyone that's watched like Into the Spider-Verse, there's some options within the game where you can not only wear, the Miles Morales suit from Into the Spider-Verse, but you can also put a couple of abilities on that changes the frame rate down so he moves similarly to that movie, as well as pops up with some of the combat animations, the bams and the thwacks and stuff. So that little wrinkle on its own is great because it feels almost like you're playing the same game, but it's a different game when you experience it like that. So that's a really nice touch. But this game's got so much heart. The combat is super smooth. The traversal and the web slinging, phenomenal. The story itself, I'm really digging it. Really digging the characters. Miles and his crew, and the Tinkerer, who's the big bad in this episode. Really great, really fleshed out. So I can't wait to finish that over the weekend. I know, it's 8 to 10 hours on average. So I know I can commit to getting this sucker knocked out over the weekend. But so far, really, really enjoying my time with that. Great launch title. Definitely recommended for pickup. And it feels like it's going to be a full game. It doesn't feel like it's just a DLC expansion. And a lot of people that have completed, I saw old Australia's John O'Peck mentioned that he rolled credits on it last night, and he said it feels like a complete game. It's not just a little bolt-on that's overpriced. It's well worth the investment. So, yeah, my next-gen experience so far has been great. It's been outside of the logistics and things like that. It's been painless. Like you talked about the setup of these consoles. Really quick, really smooth. On the Xbox side, there's an app. You gave me a funny face. Maybe not so far.
We had issues.
Okay. Really smooth for me. Really quick for me.
Yeah. No, our Xbox setup, it tried to make it sound as easy as, download the app and do this kind of thing. And we kind of ran into like a slight hiccup. But once we overcame it, it was relatively easy after that. But yeah, we just we hit a wall. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I think outside of obviously those day one patches that you've got to download to get your console or your DualSense as well up to date, it was super quick. Like the console was booted and ready to roll within a handful of minutes. And then after that, the fun part is the reinstalling or migrating of games and things like that. That was the part that took a little bit of time, but overall, I've been really happy. What about you? You've been playing a couple of new ditties as well.
Yes, unfortunately not on the next gen experience. Unfortunately, both titles on PC. So I guess technically it's kind of that experience, but I won't open that up.
Master Race.
On Tuesday, Destiny 2's expansion Beyond Light dropped. Long-awaited new content that everyone, was kind of hoping for, which is, I think a lot of people were kind of expecting for like the beginning of like Bungie taking the reins of Destiny, kind of making their own thing eventually. So I think it's like the 5th expansion for Destiny 2, I think. Destiny, and you are now on Jupiter, a place called Europa, and you're actually working with a character that I adore called Varix, Some people might remember him as the warden of the prison of elders. And he's essentially trying to stop fallen Kel Aramis, and she's like harboring the darkness. Like, I know for a lot of people that don't play Destiny, they're like, what the hell is she talking about?
English, Ali, speak it.
Speaking in tongue. But yeah, so this person's harboring the darkness, which Guardians are used to the light. But she's harboring the darkness to destroy the Traveler, who's back on Earth, who's looked after the Guardians and everything. So eventually we actually get the power, which is called stasis. So we're kind of using it to combat against her. In regards to my experience so far, I really hit a hurdle trying to complete the story missions and being below light level. And I really hit the struggle bus hard. So full disclosure, someone told me about the easiest way to level up, which is repeating a strike on EDZ. So I did. Soft light cap, level cap, is currently, I think it's like 1,200.
Jesus,
So-
that's a big jump. Like, we were, last time we played, I think I was like 10.
I loaded in
1060.
I loaded in 1,050. So I don't know how everyone else loaded in, but yeah, I was low. So unfortunately, it was kind of sad because usually I like to push through the story whenever they drop content, but because I hit that hurdle, I kind of have to stop the story, back up, and then just pretty much do a lot of things that I was very familiar with before. So, but I am a professional on that strike now that I repeated it like 20 times over.
Really? Was it that amount? You did it you did it like 20 times?
I did it quite a lot. I went from like, 50 to like 100 and 100 and like maybe 150, 160 just to like really like build up my light level. Because there is a raid coming up. Whether I'll be doing it or not, remains to tell. I'm not usually a person who gets to, compete in raids. But overall, I do like Europa. The map feels big. It feels extensive. The new enemies that they've kind of introduced with this like ice element that we're not very familiar with, the stasis, it's good. It's different. Like, it's, challenging in its own ways. Not really seeing a lot of new weaponry at this stage. There apparently has been drops of new weapons, but we really haven't seen it too much right now. I've heard a few people who've completed the content already, people who have already gone beyond the soft light cap. They've already reached to the highest level possible, but these are like your typical Destiny streamer grinders and everything like that. So everyone's trying to be raid ready, because it's my favorite time of the year where friends get together, do a raid, and break friendships instantly. It's the best. But overall, like, I am looking forward to getting back into it. I know you is gonna jump back on as well. So it'd be nice
I'm in.
Be nice to kind of take you under the wing and maybe even show you this strike.
That's it. I'm the little brother in this regard. So yeah, take me through this strike a dozen or so times to get the gear up.
Yeah. So but yeah, for the most part, there's also this Cosmodrome is open again, and I don't know, a lot of OG Destiny fans will possibly remember the Cosmodrome, and going back there was crazy. Like, it was weird. It was really, really, really weird to see that all again. So it's a good time to come back. I think a lot of people, you get to play it for free, I think, on, is it Xbox Game Pass?
On Xbox Game Pass, you get Destiny 2, and like NATO informed me of this yesterday. I hesitated to jump on and play it on Xbox again because I thought naturally they're going to be charging you for the Beyond Light expansion.
No.
But on Game Pass, it is free as well. So anyone that wants to rumble on Destiny 2 and play the new hotness, it's free on Xbox Game Pass. And the awesome thing with it too is with your cross save, we could jump on and play on PC right now, and then later we could jump on and rumble with NATO and co on the Xbox, and that save and that progression will carry. So I love that there is that synergy there. So I'm keen as a bean to try it on not only the PC but the Xbox Series X because playing Destiny 2 on the Xbox One X, which I briefly touched on a few weeks ago, it was rough. The load times and the rendering and just the overall connection and rubber banding in that game was fucking painful. So I'm hopefully not going to be encountering any of that when I boot it up on the Series X.
Well, NATO has been playing it on his Series X, and he said the load times have just gone, like, they've reduced dramatically. Because I did have a friend who said he stopped playing Destiny because on the console the load times were horrible. So I could imagine it would be frustrating. So so if anyone's interested, you got your Xbox Game Pass, give it a try. It's a bunch of new stuff and new enemies. Story looks like it's actually really good once I can really dive into it with your light level. But so far I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to diving into it a bit more with you.
Hell
it's always
yeah.
fun to play with friends. So.
Oh yeah, it's just like, it's one of those games. Yeah, there's a narrative there, but it's almost secondary to just the gameplay experience you have, like jumping on, shooting people, having a laugh, playing some strikes, doing some PvP.
Bungie is trying to, be a bit more narrative forward, because a lot of people kind of complain that there's no essential story there. There is actually story, but it's kind of, you have to look for it. But I personally think Destiny is just great. You want story? Have some story. You want to play PvP? Play some PvP.
Have some PvP.
have some PvP. So, and I always have, gloated about Destiny's gun handling. I always think it's quite smooth. So
some of the tightest gunplay in any type of shooter out there, first or third person, it is just perfect.
It's nice.
Nice.
So, been playing that one, and I'll probably be playing that one for a long time anyway. So, the other thing that I actually got my hands on was Bug Snacks.
That little ditty.
That little ditty. Maybe you've heard of it. Bug Snacks done by...
I can't avoid it. Jesus Christ.
It's great. If you don't have that song stuck in your head, I don't know where you've been. So Bug Snacks done by an indie team, Young Horses. This game has been in development for a few years now, from what I can tell. But this game is, you watch the trailer and it's kind of like, what is this game? What's this game really about? And essentially it's an adventure puzzle kind of game where you're taken to an island and you're this journalist and you're investigating Bug Snacks because you're following this traveler explorer extraordinaire called Lisbeth. And you reach the island, she's missing. So you're kind of getting to know everyone else on the island. You're also learning about Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks, the best way I can describe it is like Viva Pinata and like Pokemon Snap.
Okay.
It's kind of got this wonderful combo of like elements of that game. Now, I'm a massive Viva Pinata fan. So the fact that this game is scratching that itch, because Lord knows when I'm going to get another Viva Pinata. And there's something absolutely endearing about not only the characters on the island, which I thought grumpuses is what what they're called, what the kind
species.
is called. Yeah, they kind of have they've kind of got this like Muppet look. But they're all quite adorable. They've all got their unique personalities, and obviously they've got a bunch of tasks that you can help them with. But one of the things that you can do is you feed them Bug Snacks, and then their body parts change to these foods
to represent the snack.
Yeah, some of them are quite disturbing, especially if you feed them anything sausage based. But some of them just look great. And the Bug Snacks in general, like the actual Bug Snacks that you can capture, collect, they're adorable. There's some ones that I absolutely adore. There's one called Spuddy, and he kind of like looks like mix of like a crab and a spider, but he's like a baked potato.
That's the best.
He's covered in foil, and he's got like the little potato up the top with a little bit of butter. There's something called a sub-sandopede. So it's like a millipede, centipede, but it's a sub sandwich. There's a snackery, which is a daiquiri.
Oh God, you wouldn't believe. I've spoken about strawberry daiquiris like twice this week to 2 different people.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's bizarre, but
I don't know what that says.
I like strawberry daiquiris. That's all it says.
Okay. But these characters are cute. There's a list of like actors who are like voice actors, especially in gaming, who got involved. So it's quite adorable to know that these, professional voice actors had to kind of quote the lines, because these are very similar to like Pokemon, where they say their name.
Okay, that's their native tongue.
Yeah, and like the one that you encounter pretty much at the start is called a bunga, and it's a burger with like curly fries for legs. And you're just like walking around and you just hear it like bunga 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 bunga. And I'm just like, I don't know how many times where I'll just be minding my own business and I'll just be muttering to myself bunga bunga bunga. So it's a stupidly cute game. Like I said, so if you're a fan of like Pokemon Snap, if you're a fan of like Viva Pinata, it's I would say that the gameplay has elements that are quite simple, but then there's other parts where they don't really throw you a bone. You have to figure out how to capture these creatures. You have to pay attention to what their likes, their dislikes are, how they react with each other. So that's the puzzle element that kind of comes with it. And I'd say I'm still at the early stages of the game, but I can't wait to get back into it because I've only unlocked so many of the bug snacks, and as you open certain areas of the map, you open more bug snacks to collect, and collect and feed to people to see how you mutilate their bodies. So
is it a permanent change, like when they eat a bug snack? I'm guessing that's the singular term. Bug snack.
A bug snack, yeah.
Is it a permanent change? Like when do they like permanently have hot dog arms, or is it like a time-based thing where they'll then go back to looking like themselves? Or
so they keep it permanently, but you can always go back and feed them something else to change it.
Okay, but they'll never go back to how they were.
No, so far.
Wow.
No. I'm thinking the way the story's going, maybe they're trying to investigate that. But at this stage, yeah, if you feed them something, it stays that way unless you feed them something again and replace it. So, and I'm a bit of a stickler. Like I'm pretty like, I've got my things. Like I'm purposely feeding people ribs to give them legs, so they've got bony legs, and then I'm no longer feeding anyone a sausage anymore because it's a little disturbing.
Too many sausage appendages roaming the island.
That one's throwing me off a bit. The character is actually called a weenie worm. It's a little hot dog that like moves around like a worm kind of thing. See, this is what I love about this game, is that there's just this cute goofiness. Like it's not taking itself seriously. You know what you're in for with this game, So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And this one is free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So...
Like I got, that was one of my first that I got on the download as well when I powered up the PS5. So yeah, anyone that's looking for a game, even if they didn't get the next gen or current gen, I guess we should start calling it, you can get it on the PS Plus store and play it on the PlayStation 4 for free if you've got PS Plus. So
exactly right.
You got nothing to lose there. Get it downloaded, even if you don't feel like intend on playing it straight away. Just make sure you get it added to your library, so that way you're not going to lose it, because it's going to be recycled at the end of this month into some new games. So just make sure you add those titles to your library, because it's free. It's a paid service, but in essence, you're getting a handful of asterisk free games every month. So make sure you add them in. And yeah, bug snacks, it looks cute. Like I love quirky games and I love snacks, so it's a game I definitely want to play.
And I didn't think that a cartoon, kind of animated game would do this, but it made me so damn hungry.
I'm hungry now thinking about these things.
Like, I can't tell you how much of maybe I'm like, man, I could really go a burger right now, or man, I could really go a sub sandwich right now. So the game succeeds. So
it's 9:30 in the morning here, and I'm already thinking about ribs. Like,
exactly.
I need to hunt down some ribbies today.
And I want to give a little honorable mention to the Queeble, which is a kiwi fruit, but it's got the spoon in it, which is its nose. It's just, the design concept for this must have been so much fun. So I give it to Young Horses, because I could only imagine just sitting in a room and just pitching all these these bug snack creations, because it must have been a ton of fun.
Yeah, they just spend hours in Woolworths or Walgreens just looking at foods and things and go, that can be this and we can merge this together and this is how to become a little creature and yeah.
So
Unrelated but related. It weirds me out that people eat kiwi fruit. Some of them like bite it and eat it like an apple and eat the skin. Have you seen people that do that? Yeah.
That's wrong. That's very wrong. But I think a lot of people who do that compare it to the same consistency, like texture as like peach. Like some people eat a peach.
It's a lot fuzzier than a peach though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
People these days. All right, quick bit of housekeeping. Obviously, 8bit.net is your central website hub. But if you want some more direct links, shop 8bit.net to our official web store, 8bitnation.net to our more community-centric links. So we're talking our Discord, Facebook groups, and things like that. If you want to support us monetarily, you can do so over at patreon.com/weare8bit. For the low price of $1, you're going to get early access to the 8-Bit Cast as well as the Hungry Game Show, which we've also just recently obviously released episode 11 of the Hungry Game Show on Patreon. It's going to be dropping on the Hungry Games RSS feed, or it would have dropped by the time you're listening to this on the regular Hungry Games RSS feed, and it saw Reese Kirby battling Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. So give that a listen if you haven't already. Episode 12 of the Hungry Game Show is going to be our first multi-contestant battle. And the game in question is World of Warcraft. We're actually going to see Matty Stallone from Audio Technica as well as streamer at Panda TV going head-to-head against each other and the game itself, which is World of Warcraft. So that's going to be fun. Could be a complete dumpster fire. I haven't, tested this scenario yet, but I think it's going to be a good time regardless. So get ready for that to come out in the next fortnight. But should we get some more serious discussion sorted out before we move into the news, Miss Hart? What do you reckon?
Let's do that.
All right, so episode 219 of The Hungry Gamers is brought to you by our new favourite partners over at Manscaped, and we are here to remind you all to keep your D-pad clean and level up your game with the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Listen up, fellow gamers, if you want to maximise the look of your joystick, start taking notes as we activate a Mario star for your undercarriage.
The first thing you need to hear about is the Perfect Package 3.0 kit. It is loaded with everything you need to keep your Buster Sword looking big, bad, and sleek. It all starts with the Lawnmower 3.0, complete with advanced skin-safe technology via way of the patented ceramic blade. You will feel safely slicing your way through the pubic hair enemies of Gaia in no time.
How was that?
This is fun because Brendan writes this stuff before we actually get going, so this is always fun to read, people.
You know what else is fun? A ton of liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Some of these liquid tools for your family jewels include the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing deodorant for your Pokeballs. This is a total game changer. Why are you not already putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body, people?
Next up is the Crop Reviver, a spray-on ball toner that not only refreshes your bait and tackle, but also gives you a little pep in your step. The Perfect Package also comes with a nifty travel bag, disposable shaving mats, and a set of the comfiest anti-chafing boxes you have ever worn. This is the Perfect Package for your perfect package.
All right, listeners, we've got a special promotion for you. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code 8bit at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code ATEBIT. Remember, listeners, nobody likes a messy controller.
Nobody.
This week's news headlines.
And the first bit of news, it was breaking and developing very quickly this morning for us in the AU and obviously different time zones, different periods around the world. But the original story and initial updates read like this. A frightening situation is unfolding at Ubisoft's headquarters in Montreal, Quebec, according to local Montreal news sources Le Journal de Montréal and TVA Nouvelles. Possibly dozens of people are being held hostage in the building housing Ubisoft Montreal at the corner of Saint Laurent and Saint Viateur streets. Montreal police have confirmed an operation is ongoing in the area, and this progressed for a few hours. A lot of hysteria, a lot of sharing of information, false or otherwise, on the social medias happened very quickly and progressed for an hour or two after that. but we've just received a major update in the past hour. According to TVA Nouvelles, the situation at Ubisoft's Montreal offices was a swatting-style hoax. Nobody was injured, although Ubisoft employees barricaded on the roof and in conference rooms were not aware that there was no threat. Police are looking to find the person who sent the threatening call that set off the crisis. Obviously, they're going to keep us updated as more details emerge. But thankfully, it seems the potential for real danger has passed.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, whoever did this, go and get fucked. You're a piece of shit. Like, yes, you thought it was funny, but you deserve a big old punch in the face and a big old kick in the ass because this stuff is never cool. My goodness, though, what a situation.
It was horrible, like, especially being here in the States and obviously in line with Canada, just seeing, pretty much it was on my Twitter feed, just seeing it kind of develop where people were just getting notice of like, hey, this is all we know, this is what they're doing, nothing's been cleared up, and then just seeing it kind of develop. Based on the information that was provided, there was like one of the members who was on, I think, like a meeting or a call, and then just out of nowhere, they suddenly had to just drop out of the meeting and just, vanish. So it seems like, yeah, at some point they probably just got notice that there was, a situation, and then all the teams were either safely escorted out of the building, and then some were still in the building and then moved to the roof. It was just a lot of hysteria, but then it's a scary situation, especially with people in, developers in the gaming industry. I mean, they face death threats and all kinds of threats, insults, just really stupid shit. And then when it reaches this level where they genuinely think that their life could be in danger, I mean, that's fucked up. It's absolutely stupid. So I'm glad that everyone's safe. I'm glad that the situation's under control. I'm happy that the Montreal police, acted the way that they needed to in order to get the situation under control. They didn't, jump in unnecessarily. So, but yeah, in the end, it just shouldn't have freaking happened.
No way, no how. And this kind of action or this type of situation, it's not cool, it's not funny, it's not edgy. Don't ever do this. Like, don't ever think that I'm going to bring this type of potential hysteria and then the fear that would be cast immediately upon this person or group of people that you are swatting. Like, it's not cool in any way, shape or form. So I hope this person gets confirmed and the full weight of the law gets thrown at this person and they get jail time or whatever. I don't really know the intricacies as far as the Canadian law system. I was over there. I was a moral citizen while I was, so I have no idea as far as the severities. But yeah, I hope this person gets what's deserved because this kind of stuff is not good. And anyone thinking of doing this, don't. Slap yourself in the face. Do anything but, because this stuff is so stupid and completely uncalled for and not justified, no matter what type of coolness you think it's gonna lead to or how funny it's gonna be. This is people's livelihoods, like, and just the thought of these people in this situation, like, yes, it was a hoax, but you don't know if a person in this building could have existing health issues. Like, this could lead to someone having a heart attack or, some type of, anxiety or stress-based attack that could lead to real ramifications and potential seriousness in that regard too. So it's not funny, never will be, never has been. Just pull your damn heads in.
Yeah. And I just hope that doesn't, create any stupid freaking copycats in the future. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sadly, it won't be the last time. Like, as much as we preach on this and as much as, our listeners and the vast majority of people in this gaming landscape are good, normal, kind people, there is a few people out there that just think this stuff's fantastic and love this type of morbid insanity and yeah, just don't. I think that's the biggest thing. Just don't.
Yeah.
Go play Bug Snacks. Go turn people into hot dog arm appendaged people instead or something,
Give someone some pretzel legs.
Oh, God, I love pretzels so much. Love pretzels. You know what the world loves, though? Ghost of Tsushima, which obviously PlayStation exclusive, is now sold more than 5 million copies. Sony announced this week that the number of sales since its release in July makes it the fastest selling first-party original PS4 game. according to PlayStation Worldwide Studios boss Herman Hulst. So, everyone is hungry for Ghost of Tsushima and that samurai life. It is great to see. Obviously, it was a big step out of their usual comfort zone as far as the studio at Sucker Punch, but they have nailed this game. Everyone is hungry for it. Obviously, we've got an alleged sequel already starting to get hashed out. We've had the Ghost of Tsushima Legends mode drop last month as well, including multiplayer in the raid. Awesome. Good to see. Unlike, if we flip the script, it's not in the docket here, but Marvel's The Avengers are completely tanking. And apparently the studios have lost like over $40 million on that game due to it selling, I think, about 3 million copies total, something like that. It's sort of a stark contrast to Tsushima here.
Yeah, like when I kind of saw that story about Marvel Avengers, like I know I personally said this game doesn't look interesting to me. I don't like it. Like, it just looks boring as shit. But to me,
boring shit.
But to me, it was. But seeing such a dedicated fan base, like a lot of people push this title and grinded out this title and really, really love this title. So, and I did feel like it was a lot of people playing it. So then to only see this kind of report where saying that no, not a lot of people are buying it, and then no, not a lot of people are playing it, which we found out a couple of weeks ago, where the numbers had dropped dramatically. So is that just good marketing? What was happening there? Because they're not making the grade that they, unless they were depending on, having transactions in game.
Which they do, and they've probably made a few dollars off people in that situation. I think we've talked pretty substantially at length as far as things they probably could have done to keep the hype going. The parallel release of the Spider-Man character this week with Next Gen and Miles Morales coming out just seemed like too smart a thing to do, and yet we don't even have a month, a window roughly of when these coming out. Kate Bishop's coming out sometime in the next month, but outside of that, we don't know when old Peter Parker's making his way to the game, and I think that would have been great sizzle. Sony could have hyped the crap out of it because it's an exclusive to that platform, but I don't know what Square are doing over there and Crystal Dynamics. It just seems very strange to me, and I think this game it feels like it's doomed.
Yeah, possibly.
Doomed, I tell you. Maybe Dr. Doomed.
Nice. Nice work, Dad. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe maybe they just dulling out for the end of the year, and then they'll maybe come back in full force next year. Who knows? But yeah, it didn't look good. It's just,
I just don't know what's going to bring the players back to that game, because there's so many games starting now next gen. Now, do we still call it next gen? What do we do? Because it's here now.
Current gen. Yeah, it's current gen now.
Yeah. Now current gen is here. The influx of all these games between now and the next 12 months, they're gonna sort of just be like a wave that's just gonna crash over the top of Avengers. So I don't know how many new characters you can announce and bring in that's gonna pull a player base back to it with things like the games we've been playing, obviously, and countless other ones like Demon Souls and things like that we haven't touched on. Cyberpunk next month.
Yep.
And then we've got, countless other games slated for 2021. I don't know how it's going to claw player base back. I think this game is in a lot of trouble. But anyway, some other sort of financial-based news. Borderlands and Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two has agreed on a near $1 billion price tag to snap up British racing giant Codemasters. Take-Two announced earlier this week that it had shaken hands on a $994 million deal, which is expected to be completed in spring of 2021. Codemasters' most notable IPs are the Formula One and Dirt franchises. I was surprised at the price tag, to be honest. I know they're two big IPs, and I guess the Formula One license would not be cheap to have that exclusivity. But it's interesting. Take-Two are diversifying their portfolio a little bit here, because they don't really have notable racing titles in their catalog, but now they've got two of the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, Take-Two is usually got some kind of connection to sports. But yeah, I mean, everyone knows how I feel about racing games. I know the new Dirt title has been relatively successful.
Very arcadey. I was watching Tilby stream some of that the other day, and it looked really fun. Really fun. I got to ask you this question because I asked him while he was racing too. When you play racing games, do you do like the third person view, like behind the car where you see the whole car in front of you, or are you like a cockpit looking through the windscreen type of driver?
No, I need to see what I look like from the top.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm an in cockpit type of guy.
Usually because like in those kind of racing games, especially the ones that are more like just, especially like a Formula One, I always feel like the interface is usually quite like blocky. Like I feel very obstructed. I feel like my viewpoint's pretty obstructed. So I usually go, look from the outside.
Certainly method to that, Matt. Like, it makes sense because, yeah, you do see then not only the cars beside you and what's coming up, but, yeah, you're not blocked by telemetry and all that stuff because, yeah, you don't get a huge amount of real estate through the windscreen in some of these games.
No, I really don't think so. And I think it's easier also to kind of memorize the map and just see what works when it comes to navigating the map as well. So, like, taking certain corners and everything like that. So, fuck, for a person that does, like, racing games, Jesus.
Yeah, we're getting surprisingly deep here.
Yeah.
All right, the next bit of news. Halo TV series recast Cortana with the original voice actress. Cortana, the AI that assists and occasionally turns on Master Chief throughout the game series, was originally due to be played on TV by Natasha McElhone, who was cast in a dual role, also playing Cortana's creator, Dr. Catherine Halsey. But due to scheduling difficulties caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, McElhone can no longer complete her work as Cortana, but will continue in the role of Halsey. Step in Jen Taylor, who reprises the roles she played in Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, 4, 5, and as Microsoft Virtual Assistant on Windows devices. Taylor has also played Catherine Halsey in the game series, but that won't be the case here. It's not yet clear if Taylor will play the role in person or lend her performance to a full CGI character. So there you go. What is old is new again. We've gone full circle as far as who portrayed who and a bit of cannibalization and mixing of the same actresses here playing roles and mixing roles and shifting roles. I just don't know when and if this series is ever going to come out. Like, we've had so many stop-starts with the Halo cinematic universe, I guess you could say. They've had a few releases here and there, but yeah, I don't know. And I don't know how this is going to translate to TV. Like, but it's cool that it's making progress. I had no investment on the Halo TV franchise. I was a bit curious how they were presenting this. I assumed it was going to be CG, like full CG, like live action, baby.
Yeah. So that's always risky, isn't it?
Yeah, like live action sci-fi with aliens, like it is a risk. And just tonally, I don't know what it's going to be portrayed as, because like, yes, Halo has some serious themes and storylines and a lot of death, but it feels like it's more Star Wars than Aliens, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
If we're sort of going to go the routes, like it's more action with a bit of lightheartedness, I'd say. And especially with the character models and things, as opposed to Aliens with the Marines and stuff.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they kind of went like a Starship Troopers route.
Oh my god. I love that movie so much. The sequels can go burn in a ditch, but I love the original so much. Much.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't watched that in a while. I need to watch that again.
God, that movie just sort of flames the global lust for Denise Richards that most males and other people would probably no doubt be feeling. She is something special. Rico's Roughnecks. Let's go. God, now I want to watch stuff. Let's just stop the podcast and go watch Starship Troopers.
All right, everyone, pause the podcast. We're all going to watch Starship Troopers. Are you doing your part?
And the last bit of news, PS5 is suffering from a download queue bug. So this isn't like a global thing, but just be careful because, it is causing games and apps to be caught in a queued for download error state, with the only current fix seemingly to factory reset the console. The bug, which has been suffered by at least 3 members of IGN staff, among many reports popping up, appear to occur when a product is first set to download. The bug can then seemingly take 2 forms, either listing the game/app as queued for download or as having suffered a download error. Both will prompt you to check the downloads menu, which then shows nothing. The upshot is that your game is stuck in limbo, it won't download, and it can't be cancelled and re-downloaded. In all cases among those 3 IGN staff, the PS5 library will show that you own the game/app, but checking the PlayStation 5 store will say that you don't, asking you to purchase it. So, oh boy, like, I haven't encountered this. No. I don't think you've encountered this.
No.
But I did have some weird things when I was downloading the games where, like, the download was going, then it paused it just for some reason itself, like it paused it. So I had to go back in and restart the Miles Morales download twice, which was a bit annoying. It sort of delayed my time to be web slinging, but these things aren't a big surprise. Like, when new hardware comes out, there's always teething problems and potential bugs hiding in the back-end OS. So probably won't be the last we hear from not only the PlayStation 5, but the Xbox Series X and S as well.
Yeah, and there was the other one that apparently was news to both you and Jono, where a lot of people were reporting playing the Miles Morales Remastered Edition, having issues where putting it in like rest mode and then trying to access the game, encountering an error that not only like crashes the game, but has been wiping people's actual game files on Spider-Man. And then there's maybe been a few reports of the actual console bricking as well.
Ooh,
so
it's scary.
It's scary.
It's
That's
very
the
scary.
thing, right? Because like reading that myself, like I'm like, should I load up Spider-Man or should I just should I hold back a little bit?
It's interesting. Like, for both consoles and all previous consoles, I like the rest mode for the consoles because all your updates and downloads can get done while your console is sleeping, while you're not playing. So most of the time when you're going to boot your equipment up, that game is going to be the latest version, so you can jump straight in. You don't get sort of stuck with multi-gig download before I can jump online. So I'm a rest mode fan, and I was playing Morales last night, and I went and made some dinner and stuff and had the PlayStation 5 still running. It did go into rest mode and switched off into its idle state, but I booted up, save was there, the game kicked on straight away, no issues. So I'm lucky. So hopefully it is a bit more of an outlier for people because, you don't want those things. My biggest fear with all these new consoles coming out is, another red ring of death situation that hurt the Xbox 360 way back when. But I'd say the amount of R&D and factory acceptance testing that would have been done with both these platforms, they would have ironed out those kinks and potential internal hand grenades. But just be careful with your hardware. That's the main thing, I guess.
I think everyone can take that advice to heart.
Amen. Okay. The final part of the podcast.
Tweet of the week.
And this one comes via the higher-ups at Xbox. And the tweet reads this: "We can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X."
For the gamers.
Yeah, for the lamers. God. Vaping. Flavored e-smoke. But anyway, I guess... I don't know, I was going to say it's healthier than cigarette smoking. I'm like, to a degree, people have died vaping too. So
just don't.
I think you're fucked either way. Just don't smoke. How's that? Anyway, back to the topic at hand here. So what happened this past week with the console releasing on Tuesday? Videos started to emerge on social media of consoles, in air quotes, overheating and spewing smoke through its vents on the top of when it's mounted like obelisk style, so on the vertical. And people began to quickly question whether these videos were real or fake. With seeing smoke coming out, there was panic all over Twitter, like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? My Xbox is going to catch fire!"
Yeah.
But then they did some digging and found out that there was people blowing vape smoke into the console and showing this fake potential console burnout. So Xbox tackled it head on, and nice, short, clear, concise tweet. Common sense, really. You know, we talk about it a lot here on the Hungry Gamers. Be smart. Think about it. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, please. Make that our tagline now. Forget stay hungry. But
I'm so hungry. I'm still thinking about ribs.
I'm starving. I've got chicken waiting for me. So
you win.
I do win, just for today. But just in regards to this, unfortunately, it also stems around the kind of console war bullshit. So, you know, unfortunately now a lot of people are just using that video as a point of reference of being like, haha, sucked in Xbox kind of thing, even though it's been debunked, it's got people saying it's not real. Doesn't matter. It's in circulation. It's going to be a thing that people reference from now on, just to, you know, one up an Xbox owner, or, you know, and then PlayStation will have their things. So just let people enjoy shit. Yeah. You don't need to be in the blue army or the green army or whatever. Like, we're all gamers. We're all having fun. We're all excited after this release this past week with current gen now firmly in our hands. Like Aaron Greenberg said it nicely as well. He tweeted as well. Obviously, the head of marketing for Xbox. He said, "Put down the vape and pick up the controller." Yeah, and I think I could not agree more with that. You know, and just park your hate, park your need to try and be Team Xbox or Team PlayStation. Just be Team Gamer. You know, be happy that both these consoles are out. Be happy that they're both having enormous amounts of success from what we can see, and just be excited for the future with a lot more great games coming out. And it's just a good time to be alive right now. Obviously, a lot of bad shit still going on in the world. I'm not trying to dismiss and downplay any of that. There's still a lot of things that people need to be worried and concerned about. But if you're looking for a good distraction and some good escapism and to be safe and in your house and avoiding COVID and all that, it's a great time to immerse yourself in these new generations. Exactly right. The year's been bad enough. Don't add to it. Yes, indeed. And I thought we could probably put a bow on this episode, but leave the listeners with a poll that we wanted to unpack on the next episode of THG. And wanted to find out, we'll put it on the Twitters as well, obviously, but if you feel like writing, and obviously hello@8bit.net on those emails, or at We Are 8bit on them socials. But wanted to find out, which console did you get? Did you land on a PlayStation 5 discless or digital edition? Did you get the Xbox Series X or the Xbox Series S? Or did you get both? And let us know why. Why did you lean PlayStation or Xbox? Let us know your feelings. We want to unpack that on the next episode, so we'll have some links up on the Twitter at We Are 8bit as well. But yeah, get those cogs turning. The best answer or most unique answer, or just the answer we enjoy the most, I think, will win themselves a set of Audio Technica in-ear headphones as well. We'll get those sent out. So let us know. Let us know. This has been episode 219 of THG. Miss Hart, anything else you want to say before we get on out of here? Yeah, I just want to give a shout out and recommend everyone give a watch to Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun. Auntie Donna is an Australian comedy sketch group. Probably maybe seen one or two of their videos on YouTube do the rounds. They've managed to score, I think it's like a 6-episode little stint on Netflix. So give it a watch. Support some Aussies that, you know, have been at it for quite some time, so give it a watch. So that's Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun. I was scrolling Netflix a couple of nights ago, and I saw that pop up. I've never heard of them before. Oh, really? In my little bubble, I didn't even know they're Australian, but that's cooler to know. So I'll give their first episode a watch and see how it goes, because it's available now. It's good to see more Aussies breaking into that global market, and Netflix could be a nice springboard for them. Yes, exactly right. It's really absurdist comedy, like it's really wacky, but you know, it's Australian, so support. Hell yeah. All right, 8bit Nation, this is the end of episode 219 of THG, but until next week, much love. And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
What was your favorite color in the 5-flavor Lifesavers packet?
Red.
Oh, red. See, I was green followed by red.
Ask me about gobstoppers next time.
Okay, done.